He's a little sweetie. I first saw little sweetie in April over a year ago, and she was in the bushes hiding under the lilac tree or bush, and I went over to see if I could talk to her, and then she took off, and there was a groundhog hole that's next to the guy's house over there, and she was down in the hole. And so I decided to see if I could put some food out, and so I put it next to where I'd under the bush, and I looked out about an hour later, and she was under there eating the food. So I decided to see if I could get her in the house, and so I started moving the food toward my back door, and it took almost a month to get her over to the back door, and she was a little tiny bitty thing, real scared, and I had to put the food down, and then I had to climb up on the steps away from her before she would come over and get her food. And I decided to start getting closer and closer to her, and I kept talking to her, and then one day she came up and she rubbed my leg with her body, and made this real cool purr, and I reached down and I started rubbing her head, and she made this crazy sound, and like she loved it. And after that, I'd make her come and get a rub before I gave her the food. So then one day I came out about a month later, and she was rubbing herself. She saw me, and she was rubbing herself against the one of the railings, and giving herself a rub. So eventually, she wanted rubs every day, and so about December 5th of that year, I noticed I was reading the weather report, and I could hear the wind. The wind was just howling outside. And it was about 30 degrees, and it was going to get down into the low 20s, maybe even the teens. And I thought, man, I got to get her in the house. And so I started looking for her, and I saw her run up on the front porch, and the wind was blowing like 40 miles an hour, and it was probably about, I don't know, 18 degrees at the time. And so I was thinking, man, I need to get her in the house. So I decided I'd open the front door, and so I let her see that I was going in and out the front door, and I was talking to her. So I saw her kind of coming toward the door, so I moved back and got inside the house and hid. And I saw her poke her head in, and so then she started into the living room, and I jumped down real quick and closed the door. So she ran around, was hiding and stuff, and at the time I had Morgan in the house. I found him when he was a tiny little kitten, and she was running all around the house, and I had him locked up in one of the bedrooms upstairs. And so all of a sudden they were fussing at each other under the door, and when I let Morgan out, they were like chasing each other all around the house. It was really funny. And he ended up getting out and getting hurt and died from his wounds about 6 months ago, and I'm really sad about that. But she's, you know, you can see her. She wants to be in my lap all the time, and really a wonderful cat. So one of the first things I noticed was if you can see her ear, it's clipped, and I noticed it. I didn't know anything about these feral cats and this catch and release thing, and it had a little scab on it, and I thought, I wonder how that happened. And after I got her in the house, I started wondering about it, and I looked it up. I Googled clipped ear, clipped left ear, and it came up with this thing where they were capturing feral cats, and then they give them a rabies shot. They fix the cat, and then they clip the ear to make sure that, you know, that's a kind of a thing. You know, it's a feral cat that's been fixed, and I thought that was pretty interesting. I never even knew about that. And she might even have 5 or 6 little tattoo dots on her stomach, but I can't tell. But she's just a wonderful cat. And I just love this little girl. All right, guys. This is Christmas Eve, and we're having a lot of rain coming down. It's like pouring rain right now, kind of windy. So I'm hoping it'll be a nicer day tomorrow. All right, guys.